The first thing you want to do is to check for missing nails from when you removed the seat. The most common places are underneath here, and underneath here. If there are no missing nails, you can go ahead and jump to the next step. This paper cord, it can be quite hard to hold on to. What you can do to make it easier is put some water on it. You want to use lukewarm water, not too much. You can just gently sprinkle it like that, and it will be much easier to work with. 1.5 meters of the cord. You'll take the end, place it like this, and to fasten it you can either use a nail or a machine, like I'm doing. Now what we want to do is make 12 rounds this way, and this part of the cord we will hide underneath the 12 rounds. So place it like this. Notice how I'm placing my thumb in order to prevent it from jumping up. Now I've done the 12 rounds, and I always count them once again to make sure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 rounds. So now what you want to do is to fasten it here, and again you can use a machine or you can use a small nail. So we will clip it here, and you will take this part of the cord and clip it or nail it here. This we don't need, so we can cut this off. So now that you've done the 12 rounds on the left, we want to do the same 12 rounds on the right, but in a slightly different way. We will do 12 rounds with the cord. And you will take this end and clip it the same way you did on the left side. And we will tighten this in a moment. The cord in here, you are ready to grab your bundle and begin the pattern that you will follow for the rest of the chair. We want to make sure that there are 12 rounds, so I like to count them again. You can do that if you like. So you take the bundle, go above over here, and you go above on the right side, above on the left side, above on the top side, It's always above. And I will do 2 rounds in the beginning, taking it very slow. Notice how, when I'm letting go of more cord, I'm keeping a very tight grip on the bundle, and I'm letting them go one at a time like this. Now that I've done the 2 rounds, I will hang the bundle so that it doesn't get messed up. Now that you've done 2 rounds, we are going to tighten this like we tightened it on the left side. We will grab the end of the cord, place this part underneath, and you will start to tighten it the same way you did on the left side. Notice again how I'm placing my thumb in. And all the time I'm counting to make sure that we have 12 rounds. Now that we've tightened the 12 rounds, we are going to start tightening the seat. So we will go over here the same way we did when we pulled the bundle above. So we will find the cord over here, keeping your thumb on this part so it doesn't jump open. You will grab this and you will tighten it. Notice how I'm using my body weight instead of my arm muscles. This will save you a lot of strength. You will tighten it, place your hand here to hold it tight, and you will find it here. And you will pull it above, following the same pattern that you pull the bundle around. Over here, tighten. Remember to use your body weight. Place your finger so it doesn't jump open. Find it on the inside. Now that you've gotten to the upper left corner, this is always the most tricky corner. So what you want to do is you want to place your thumb like this, holding a tight grip on the cord that goes around. And you want to press down and pull this up and place it, tighten it like this. You want this crossing to be in the middle. And this is quite good. Keeping a tight grip on the cord over here, we will continue the pattern. Always placing your thumb And here in the lower right corner, we want to do the same thing we did on the upper left corner. We want to grab the cord, push it in a little bit, press down with your thumb, and make it sit nice and tight, close to the 12 rounds. Now you are ready to begin tightening the second round. So you will go again, find the cord, exactly the same way you did the last time. Tightening it, always keeping it tight. We want the second cord to sit very nice and tight to the last cord. The way we do that is to press down a little bit on this, keeping a tight grip, and instead of going up like this, we are going to do a slight bend like this and down. And what you can do is you can press down a bit on this to make it sit nice and tight. And now you will follow the same pattern. And once again, the upper left corner is always the most tricky for beginners. You'll press down, you'll pull it up like this to make it sit nice and tight. I will once again show you how to make it sit nice and tight to the last cord. You take this, you tighten it, and you just slightly press down and give it a bend. We don't want to go like this because it will create room for the last cord. We want to make a slight bend and put it down like that. Notice how tight these two cords are sitting next to each other. Now that we have tightened the 2 rounds, we want to make this sit nice and tight while we add more rounds. So you will take this, put it up between these two, and you can pull it like this, and it will stay. Now that we have fastened the cord, we want to add more. I recommend doing 1 or 2 rounds in the beginning, so I will go ahead and do 2 rounds. Bringing it up above this part, pulling the loose cord, and going up above here exactly like you did the last time. And this is the pattern that we will follow until the chair is done. Notice how I am letting go of more cord. You don't want to pull it like this because it will mess up the bundle. You just want to keep a tight grip and let it go one at a time. This will save you from a lot of time unwinding messed up bundles like this. Here you see it again, like this. Now I've done 2 rounds. I will hang the bundle again, and we are ready to tighten the next 2 rounds. Now we want to tighten the 2 rounds. You fastened this before and you want to loosen it again. But first you want to place your finger like this, because this cord is connected to this. If we don't place our fingers here, it will jump up. So placing your fingers, pulling this, notice how this jumps open, but this doesn't. You will tighten this once again. Like that. Now, begin on the same pattern again. Notice once again how I'm pressing down with my thumb slightly, doing a bend and pulling it in. You want it to sit very nice and tight. Once again, let's have a look at how I'm making it sit nice and tight. Tighten this, press slightly down, doing the bend and bending it down like this. This will make it look much more clean once the chair is finished. Now that you've tightened the 2 rounds, we want to do the same thing once again. We'll take this part, we'll place it in between the last 2, we'll pull it up so it sits and you can let go. So now that you have no more cord, you want to fasten this the same way you did in the beginning, like this. Before adding more cord, we want to check if this is all right. So what I like to do is just run my finger to make sure there are no mistakes. And you will feel a mistake if one of the cords are jumping up. And actually over here I see one that is not quite down the way I like it. So what you can do is take an object like this and just slightly press it into place, and it will stay. The next thing we want to do before adding more cord is to check if this is nice and tight. So what you can do is you can pull it with your fingers, or if you don't have the strength, you can grab a hammer and you can slightly hammer it together. And you can do this on all of the corners. Cut.
Perfect.
Yeah. Now we want to add more cord. You will grab a new bundle and you will tie that end of the bundle to this end. First, you want the knot to be aligned with the center. So what we will do is, keeping our thumb here so it doesn't jump up, pull this out, and somewhere around here I will cut it. Now I will take the end of the new bundle, tie these two ends together. We will use a special knot. You will want to do first a regular knot, and then we will do an opposite knot, so that these ends, so that this part of the cord comes out the same way as the end of the other cord on both sides. This knot will tighten the more you tighten it. So now it will never move. Now that you've tightened the knot, you want to push this up here once again, making it sit nice and tight. And now you are ready to continue on the same pattern as before. Now that you've made it this far, we are going to do the same thing, but in a slightly different way. We cannot take the bundle through this hole, so we have to pull single strings through it. The way you do it is you take your bundle and you loosen it, and you take this end through, and now you can pull So you see, before we went around with the bundle, but now we have to pull single strings through this hole every time until we are finished. So the pattern is the same. We pull single strings instead of the bundle. here. Before we went around with the bundle, but now we are just taking the single string through this hole, pulling it up. Other than that, the pattern is exactly the same. Now you have done your first round and you want to tighten it. It's exactly the same, but we approach it in a slightly different way. You want to loosen this like you are used to. You want to tighten this once again. And now, because you cannot go around here, you want to grab it from underneath and pull it like that. So you are tightening from the bottom, pulling it in. And now I can place my thumb here to keep it tight and pull here once again. This is exactly the same as before. And now you will place your thumb here to keep it tight. Go underneath the chair, grab the cord and tighten it. Place your thumb and continue. Now you will see that there's no more room over here, and once I place this, there's no more room over here. So now we will have to go back and forth here. I will take a clamp and I will place it here so that it doesn't jump up. And now I will take the end of the cord and go up in the middle. If there's no more room, you can always use an ice pick like this to make room. Just press it down slightly and you'll have the room you need. Now we have pulled up the cord. If your last cord was over here, we are going to go up this way. This can be different. Sometimes it ends over here and we will come up from over here. In that case, we will go the opposite way. So, since we are coming from over here, we want to go up this way. And you want to pull up the cord like that. So this is what you end up with. Now this can be tightened and this can be tightened. So you will grab this, let go of this, and now you can tighten this again by pushing it in and putting it down, just like you used to. And now we have this. In order to get this to sit tight, when you tighten this, you also want to push it a little bit on that side. And now you can put on the clamp and continue the same pattern again. You will notice I don't have much room. So now I'll go ahead, pick up my ice pick and make some room. Now I can easily get the cord. Once again, we are ready to tighten these two. You will now notice there's no more room over here and there's no more room down here. So now you are ready to finish up the chair. We do this by turning the chair around. You want to keep a tight grip on the cord. Turn the chair around. And now we want to fasten this cord. I will cut off so we have this amount, and now we will need our ice pick once again. You will go underneath 4 or 5 cords like that. You will take this end and go underneath like this, and you will tighten it, pull it around. This we will do on the other side as well. So on this side you took 4 or 5 cords. On this side we will take 3 or 4. Always less than the first. And tighten it. And now this is the last time. If you took 3 or 4 cords over here, I want you to take 2 cords over here. Notice how this cord slides into place when I tighten it, like that. Now you are free to cut off the cord and let go. So now we turn the chair around, and you will notice there is some gap down here. This can be fixed quite easily. You can grab your hammer and hammer it in place, or you can use your fingers. I will use the hammer. Just slightly hammering the cord. Like that.